right, grab your coffee, get jacked up. I'm Jamie Taylor with another installment of the Little Rock Block Talk, and I'm here this morning with Lauren Ramsey from our very own Arkansas Children's Hospital, which I think is nationwide, like the most amazing, right?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely.
Welcome to our show. Please tell our guests your name, who you are, what you do, and how you got here.
Perfect. Yes. Well, my name is Lauren Ramsey, and I am the promoter for Arkansas Children's Nutrition Center. So what we focus on at the Nutrition Center is moms and kiddos. We're actually one of only 6 USDA research facilities in the United States.
Wow.
So that makes what we do on our campus extremely unique, especially very unique opportunity for our community, but just kind of builds the campus to be a little bit more unique than what you even thought it was. I mean, of course, Arkansas Children's Hospital, everyone knows that name. They know, I mean, through the state, like we provide the best care for the kiddos in the state, and it's just continuing to branch out with all the extra clinics and different hospital locations that they're able to extend through the network, which is phenomenal. But here in Little Rock, us being there on campus gives just that little bit more opportunity that for our community to be a part of research that's going to change guidelines and regulations throughout the state, throughout the nation, because we're a USDA funded research facility.
Well, that's really exciting. So a lot of times you find that people who are passionate about what they love, which I can immediately tell you are, is they got there somehow through a personal experience or through knowing someone that struggled with something that made them want to solve a problem. And so how exactly did you become the promoter of this program, or how did you discover the program and then decide to promote it?
Yeah, so actually I'm pregnant right now with my second son. And my first experience of being pregnant was when I was 25 years old. And unfortunately, I didn't really know as much as what, of course, I thought I knew at that time.
I thought 25-year-olds knew everything.
Right. I thought I knew everything then too. But so just through my experience of being pregnant then, and just the more that I advanced my education, like I got my master's in health science. And so I just kind of like continued my path because I wasn't exactly sure. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but right now I feel like I'm on a good trail.
Yeah, adorable mom, amazing promoter, beautiful woman. Check.
Well,
so just add some more goals.
Thank you. And so really I was working at Children's in an administrative position in a clinic, and I loved it, but it was because I knew the value that it was bringing to the community, but at the same time too, I struggled with really finding like, is this what makes me happy? And then, so I was kind of looking around, and then little did I was even working there 4 years before I realized that the Nutrition Center was on our campus, and this was something that we did. And so I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, so, where did this come from?
Yeah, so we work with pregnant moms.
The West Wing.
Right. It's down the way. Yeah, it's 15 Children's Way. So it's not even in the main hospital. I mean, but I knew we had a research institute, but I didn't know that this was a branch of it. And when I found out what the programs were, because it's all based on nutrition, physical activity, growth and development. And so they do that. They study that with enrolling pregnant moms and learning about growth and development early stages, like one of our expecting study, which I'm actually a participant of. Like I enrolled at 12 weeks. Wow. And the research study doesn't end until baby turns 2. So they're really looking at the early stages of pregnancy and just that growth and development, and how nutrition and physical activity can help improve that growth and development. So it's really, really neat what we're looking at.
So like full disclosure, I just got like total goosebumps because so we met in a group called Women Influencers Arkansas, and we sort of connected on a level of like, hey, I think you're amazing. I think you're amazing too. Let's be friends.
Yes.
Which is an incredible group to do, to visit if that's what you want to do. But
absolutely.
What's interesting about this is that I was sort of inspired by the fact that you work for the Arkansas Children's Hospital, just because it's something even in my own family. We've had premature babies. We've had a lot of things. We've been in and out of that hospital a lot, and we have a lot of love for it, and we appreciate it. But when I found out that this is what you were doing, it meant a lot to me, because this is the biggest struggle that we have in the state, because we're one of the most obese states in the nation.
Yes.
We struggle with that. Although we're very heavy in agriculture, we grow a lot of natural food. So
we're one of the most high with food insecurities as well.
Yeah. So isn't it crazy to think that this program is right here under our nose?
Right here.
So that's what we're doing here, is exposing this to the community and trying to find as many people as we can to enroll and get excited about it, right? So are there limits to the program, and how do you get involved? And
right. So currently right now we only have 4 actively enrolling studies, but like this time last year we had like 10 or 12. So it just kind of depends on how the years go and how the projects, how quickly we can close enrollment on projects.
And each study is a different, like,
Is
part
different
of,
requirements, different eligibility, absolutely. So, and some are just based on, like we have studies that are just for pregnant moms, and then we have studies that are kid-based, and so it could be different ages. Right now, the 4 we have is we have the one pregnancy study for moms that are less than 12 weeks along, and then we have 2 baby studies. One focuses on breastfeeding and one focuses on formula-fed babies, and then we've got one that's for 9 and 10-year-olds. It's all about brain development and how nutrition affects like learning and retention in 9 and 10-year-olds. So it's a span, so there's always something different. And then, but like I said, last year we were running 4 different pregnancy studies at the same time, which was crazy.
Everyone was in a different mood at the same time. This one went into labor.
Yes, it was a lot. And of course, we're still running those studies. It's just the enrollment aspect of it is closed. And the good thing about like our community is, there are a lot of people that do know about us, especially moms, and moms are really good about sharing that word when they find out like, hey, I'm in this program and it's been so helpful. And not only have I learned so much about me and had these extra eyes on me and baby during these early phases, but hey, there's monetary and diaper compensation as well. Like, moms share that, which is fantastic because that, it's definitely just an additional, benefit to a mom that's in our community, just to have those extra eyes and ears and everything on mom and baby on growth and development. And our focus is different from what necessarily like maybe your OB or your pediatrician is really going to look at. I mean, we're really looking at when we take food records, we're looking at, the different aspects of growth and development and how nutrition plays that huge role in that versus, okay, yeah, your growth chart looks good. Let's get your, these next set of shots kind of type thing. It's just different. And so it's nice to be able to have, those different eyes and ears on you during pregnancy and growth and development.
Yeah, it feels like a collaborative approach because where your OB focuses on you as a female, your pediatrician focuses on your child as a child. And really this feels like a collaborative sort of approach on how does nutrition play into this whole entire process. And I love that. So I watched a documentary recently. It was, I'm not even going to give the name of it because I can't remember, but it was, and then I'm going to say, but it moved me. Yeah. But it did. It was a movie about nutrition, and it was a documentary on Netflix that talked about all the different foods that we eat. And so like what shocked and appalled me, and I eat pretty naturally because of a, kind of weight loss thing I went through, and felt like that was the best way for me to be able to process food. It just seemed to work for me, gave me energy. But, I have an 11-year-old son. He likes easy food options. Right. When I watched that movie, I found out that a majority of what we buy in the grocery store is not exactly what I would call beneficial to our health as humans and for our babies. So do you address some of that in this program, and do moms kind of get an understanding of other options besides the easier to grab ones when they're pregnant? And
yes, absolutely. So we look at food records, and what we do is we always make sure that our moms understand that we are not judging them in any shape, form, or fashion. We want them to be honest with us. We want them to be open, and if they have questions, like, we're going to help them. We have a couple of
hormonal. Don't you dare judge this donut.
Like, we are not judging you. Oh well, hey, I mean, like, trust me, I'm pregnant myself now, and I'm like, just keep on walking. Don't even look at my plate.
Yes, that's exactly.
So, but I think it's all about just giving those moms that opportunity to express and ask those questions. And we're not in a clinical, setting where we're going to rush them through or make them feel like, because sometimes in your doctor's office, that waiting room is full, and each research assistant is assigned to a study each day or a visit each day. So you've got their 110% attention, and they're going to give you that time and energy and effort. And I think we do a really good job of being able to supply moms with the tools that they request, and ask for. I think one of the biggest things outside of just some of those like food questions that we get as far as like, okay, well, the processed versus, more organic. Of course, we're going to tell you, okay, like if you really want to try to, watch what you're doing, like maybe shop more in the organic section. You're going to have better options there. There's going to be less processed and all, those little parasites and all those things that you're going to have just a better options there in that organic section of Kroger or Walmart or something like that. But we also, of course, because probably 85% of what who we deal with are pregnant mamas, is the postpartum depression and just kind of like that people don't understand what that is or what that looks like. And
I hadn't thought about that. And it's correlation to nutrition. Yeah. What a great idea. Yeah. Sorry, that excited me. Because that is a big, huge deal.
It's
and it's
huge.
not talked about because it's such a stigma.
There's such a stigma around it. Moms just think like, oh, I'm supposed to be so happy and I'm supposed to, I've got this new little bundle of joy. And who isn't? But at the same time, too, postpartum depression is a real thing. And you don't need to be ashamed of it. Talk to us about it. And we've helped a lot of moms kind of get through that. I think that's probably one of my favorite things is I get participant testimonials from different moms. And one of the last ones that we ran in one of our newsletters was one of our moms that just really sang the praises of the research assistants and how they helped her get through that postpartum depression, but not just feel like I'm a bad mom because I'm struggling with this or I'm having depression. Like, no, you're not. You're not alone either. And that's, I think, one of the biggest, strongest things that we can say to our moms is you are not alone if you're having trouble getting your picky child to eat. Mine's 8. Now, he's the exact same way. He doesn't want to eat anything that's good for him. He wants whatever is like quick and easy and like.
I want Chick-fil-A and Fortnite. That's all. Leave me alone.
Exactly. Like Chick-fil-A or Sonic.
Yep.
Those are my son's favorites. I'm like, no, we can't. Like, okay, Chick-fil-A maybe, but like I'll give in there.
Yeah, exactly. We all give in for Chick-fil-A.
Right. Who doesn't? And so, it just gives them that opportunity to express those questions and talk to somebody that puts them in a different environment where they're more comfortable. You're not alone with your postpartum depression. You're not alone if you're struggling to breastfeed. You're not alone if you feel guilty because you're now formula feeding instead of breastfeeding. Like, you're not alone, and we're here for you. We want to support you and give you the resources that we have, and we can give you additional resources that are outside of our center. But it's just really, it's more than just research. It really is.
If I get pregnant after this episode to try the center, it's going to be really funny. No, because the study has to fit you specifically. But what's funny is I got that. I really feel inspired by what you do. And I know we've known each other for a little while, but I haven't really had a chance to talk this in depth with you about it. Yeah. And it's so inspiring because, gosh, I think I just related to having postpartum depression. That is something when you have created this life, what a blessing it is to be a mom. But what a stress it really truly is on you. And emotionally, it's there's all this laughter and kind of joking around the emotions that come with being pregnant. Don't touch my plate. But also don't touch my feelings. Don't touch me.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things. And so that felt really good to hear the stigma kind of removed and just say it out loud that women do have postpartum depression.
Yes.
They also have regular depression. And then they have other mental health issues.
Perceived stress. We look at everything.
And now they're pregnant.
Right. Absolutely. So it's just kind of it's like an onion, you just keep peeling back. I mean, there's just so many layers to what, a mom goes through even before being pregnant, versus being pregnant and then what she's experiencing once this, beautiful gift of life is in her arms. There's just so much. And we want our moms to know that we're there for them. We want to help in any way that we can, and we want to assist in any way we can.
So whenever you started doing this and you fell in love with your job and you decided this is what I'm going to do with my life, and then you got pregnant and you got to actually take part in the study, how has that changed your view about what you do? Because you already believed in it, right? And you're already out there talking about it.
Right.
But now you're in it. What is it like?
It's definitely, I feel like it's changed my perspective, but not, just because I was so excited about what we do and what we offer that I've always obviously believed in the program, but now that I'm in it and I'm kind of getting to see that other side of I'm sitting on the other side of the table when a research assistant is going over this kind of type stuff, and it's just really it just shows me that what I've been doing for the last 3+ years is the right fit. It's, what I mean? It's I'm where I need to be as far as being able to share information with our community. And even if you aren't eligible for one of the studies, there's still information and ways to get information from us as far as following us on Facebook. And we put all kinds of content out there about past research that has been completed. Once they get all the data and everything, we put content on our website all the time because we want to share this information. We're not getting the research and then hiding it from the world. Obviously,
guess what we know,
right? And so we can share with our community, which is really special. And so just being a participant just kind of opens my eyes in a different way to it as well. And it's kind of and there were a couple of things that I thought were harder than what they really were, especially in the expecting study. There's the huge piece of it is physical activity. And it's like, comparing moms that, are mostly sedentary versus like having them come in and start working out during pregnancy. And so, I am actually in the control group. I didn't get the workout group, which I was pretty upset about, but,
you're like, I needed that personal trainer.
Right. I want that. I would need that. But actually, I've ended up being kind of like, so I was really sick through the first trimester. So I kind of was like, okay, it all happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think, so I lost my train of thought.
Physical activity.
The physical activity. So there's always a fitness
things that you
test.
thought were harder. Yes.
Yes. The things that I thought were harder were like the fitness test and things like that I was always like, okay, and I would kind of like
you can do it, girl.
But I was like, now that when I give people tours, I'm like, this is really fine. You're going to be, it's really not as bad as it sounds. Like, it probably looks worse and sounds worse than what it really is. And so actually doing that and participating, I was like, oh, well, yeah. So, but then I still try to explain it the same way, because I just don't want people to, then get on there and be like, oh, Lauren said it was going to be so easy, and this was not easy,
it's a challenge,
and so it's still a challenge. It is a challenge. It's set up to be that way. I mean, it's set up for us to, figure out where those moms are physically, but at the same time too, taking into consideration that mama is pregnant and everything. And so we definitely watch that, monitor that. But I mean, it definitely helps me explain it a little bit differently, having then actually been in their shoes and been on, actually in the assessments versus, just watching an assessment.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's great. It's kind of like if you had never been pregnant, it would be a totally different experience trying to talk about this. And I know, like, for me personally, I'm like flashing back to being pregnant as we talk about these things.
Yes.
Not something I've ever talked about for 11 years. I was young, and so I've just never talked about it again.
Right.
And it's interesting when you said peel back the layers of the onion, I started thinking, yeah, because pregnancy's got like a billion layers. And isn't there like some sort of, you can't just like start randomly exercising like really hard when you get pregnant, or you can't just like immediately shift your diet, right? So this kind of all has to be transitional, right?
Yes. And so that's why our personal trainer that works one-on-one with the moms that get the exercise group, I mean, he takes that fitness assessment that they do at 12 weeks and he actually builds their workout around where they are. So it's not a research where like all of our 12-week moms start at the same spot working out and end at the same spot. It's completely catered to that mom individually and where she is and her physical journey and her health. And so all the workouts start out at low intensity and at about 30 minutes a day, or well, not a day, but we encourage them to get 3 workouts at a week. And so about 30 minutes, low intensity. And then over several weeks, we gradually build that intensity to a moderate intensity. And also they're working out at about 45 minutes a day, 3 times a week. So, but it's completely structured and catered to that mom individually versus like, but typical research, you think, okay, well, everybody's going to start here and stop here, and that's not the case, because obviously these mamas are pregnant, and the good
timeline's here,
right? And the good thing too is we have like the smart gym technology, and so Alvin can set their entire workout before they ever even come in, so that when they're actually in that day, the little key that goes in the kiosk like runs the workout. So like if he wants them to increase speed or incline or something, he's not having to do that and take his focus off of mom. He keeps his focus on mom the whole time. Like he is, or she is, his number one priority when she's in there working out, because obviously,
there's 2 of them working out in there.
Yes, exactly. And so it's just nice the way that they have it set up to be able to really give that mom that attention and focus that she needs during those workouts.
Well, one of the reasons that I wanted you to come on the podcast is because I do see so much value in what you do, but also because the whole purpose behind why this podcast was created was to add value to this community and to kind of showcase how Little Rock actually, for me, I like to say Little Rock is the new big thing, the next big thing, because this city has just so much potential and it's thriving with so many small businesses, so many women-owned businesses, so many minority-owned businesses, and so many opportunities for the people that live here. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about opportunity in Arkansas Children's Hospital and having this research program and being a USDA facility, what could you give, as far as our listeners are, what can they do to get involved in these kind of programs? And what exactly, I guess what I'm trying to ask you is Arkansas Children's and this program is specific to Little Rock, Arkansas, correct? One of 6 people or 6 places.
Right.
So that being said, what is that value to our community and what other benefits can we see from that area?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, the USDA Center, we're one and only 6. We are one of only 2 that focus on pediatric nutrition and physical activity. So that's us and Baylor. There's 2 places in the entire United States. So yes, it is extremely unique to our community and such an opportunity for them to be able to partake in research that, like I said, is going to affect, guidelines and regulations that are coming down, the path later on. Yeah. We can affect change, and we can help a mom later on if you're willing to help us now. Yeah. And that's huge, for moms to be able to have that opportunity, and not just moms. Like I said, we do studies with babies and kids as well.
You mean help you by getting free education about my life as a mother and my child's nutrition?
Yes, absolutely.
Seems like kind of a good deal.
Right, absolutely. And then just the way that we can affect change for moms in the future. And I think that's one of the biggest things that kind of affects me, is just to know that, like, everything that I've been through with my last pregnancy and then versus this one, and just everything that I know now versus that I didn't know then, I was like, every mom, I don't care how old she is, every mom needs to know what I know now. Yep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She doesn't need to wait to be 33 and, have been through this once. Like, every mom should have.
Boom, that was me. I'm 33. I've been through this once, and I need more information.
Right. I think that if I would have known when I was 25 what I know now, that pregnancy would have looked so much differently, than what it, what it ended up looking like. I mean, I think just reaching out to us, you can check our website. So all of our currently enrolling studies and just information about our staff, our center, like just our research and everything is all on our website, and it's long, but it's our name. It's www.arkansaschildrensnutritioncenter.com. But you can also follow us on Facebook. Same thing, Arkansas Children's Nutrition Center. They're at Facebook. And then you can email us and call us. You can call our center directly at 501-364-3309. If you're a little apprehensive and you feel like a phone call is a little bit much, you can email us. But yeah, definitely check us out online. And then, or just call or email us. Email is acncstudies@archildrens.org. And so you can reach out in any way. I'm on the recruitment team, and so it's typically one of us that answer the phone and that can just kind of go through the spill of like what all is available. There's other studies that are available through the Research Institute as well. And so we can definitely keep moms in the loop of other opportunities that maybe there's not anything with us right now, but there might be something with them. And we keep a database. We send out a quarterly newsletter. Like, our moms just like to know, anytime we have new research or anything that's developed, or just to like, hey, like, here's a great new recipe to try. Like, that's what we do. Like, it's on our website. It's on especially our Facebook page. We put a lot of content out there as far as like, we have a What We Eat Wednesday segment that a couple of our RDs do, and it's always really neat because I'm like, they're so creative with food, and that's not my background and not my specialty, and so I love being able to see what they post each week to tell us, like, here's 101 million ways to like make a sweet potato. What I mean?
Oh, I discovered recently that if you put on Facebook as your status, what do you do with your sweet potatoes? I'm out of ideas. 75 ideas.
Oh, wow.
I was shocked, which that's definitely more, but yes. So that's really important to me too, is making sure that our listeners know that they can come directly and find this information out, but also knowing that they can go to a place that is going to be nation renowned. I mean, it's going to make decisions, I'm assuming, in our healthcare moving forward. And so my really like last question for you that I'm sort of burning about is, with healthcare in the situation it is in our country, and watching all the things that are following that and the trends behind it, how does the Nutrition Center fall into place? Like, meaning, is it funded by government programs? Is it funded by insurance? Is it funded by individuals? I mean, how does that all work, and how do you, like, I guess, what does it cost, or is there a cost? All of that.
So there's absolutely no cost to be a part of it. We don't even take insurance information. All of our research is completely 110% funded through our USDA partnership with the USDA and the ARS, the Department of Agriculture. So everything is 100% covered. We do have other like NIH grants and things like that, but it's all grant funded, like 100%.
That's amazing.
So there's no cost whatsoever other than your time, and then that's how we try to compensate basically your time that you spend with us with the monetary and the diapers. So
This is so amazing because I feel like you guys are taking moms in Arkansas with this totally forward-thinking program, and you're allowing our state and our women here to be empowered to learn more about their health and their position as mothers, and then they're able to raise stronger children in a stronger community. And the whole thing is sort of like starting right at when they're born,
Right.
allowing us to have a community that can really learn about ourselves and grow. And like you just said, no cost, in fact, monetary benefit to be involved in a program like that.
Right, absolutely.
So if you could give any advice to an expecting mom right now who is struggling in the area of nutrition, or maybe struggling just with the whole thing and doesn't fit in a study, I mean, what kind of advice would you give them as far as getting involved later? I mean, maybe they'll sign up for the newsletter, but what kind of maybe encouragement or advice could you give to that mom who's just kind of struggling?
So I think because right now our only study is pretty narrow window as far as pregnancy goes, and there are a lot of moms that like want to be in our studies that we just don't have anything open for right now. I would just tell them the biggest thing is just remember that you are not alone in this. We are all in this together. Like, you're not going to find a mom that is not going through the same thing you are, or something very similar. Just reach out to your friends, reach out to your community. Just know that, like, at the end of the day, like, you're not alone in this. Like, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're going through, whether it's a struggle with, nutrition or postpartum depression, or just kind of not knowing what the next step is. There are so many resources that are available, not just through our center at the Nutrition Center, but at the hospital. There are lots of resources, the social workers. There's just so much information out there that we can get you with the right person that's going to be able to give you the information that you need. Do not just recluse to yourself, be brave, speak up, ask the questions that you feel are appropriate, and let us help you find the right connection and the right resource for you.
I love that. That is a really strong message. And you heard that from Lauren Ramsey herself. So you guys need to reach out to Lauren. I know on Facebook you are a part of that Women Influencers Arkansas group that we mentioned.
Yes.
And if you're a female and you are a local business owner, or just even a resident of the community that needs strong friendships with women who are strong, that is where I met Lauren. And just this whole conversation has inspired me to want to go out and find all of the pregnant ladies that I can and say, hey, there might be a study later. Also, you should get involved. And I'm just really honored to have a member of Arkansas Children's Hospital even be here, because that is a huge statement in this state to have a hospital like that. I thank them for the things that they've done for my family, the premature babies we've had. I mean, we had a baby that was born at 21 weeks, and it was incredibly difficult, traumatic time for our family.
Yes.
And Arkansas Children's just, smooth sailing. And she is
fantastic.
Fine and productive, and
That's what we're there for.
Perfect.
That's what we're there for.
Thank you for the lives you save and the lives you change. We're so thankful to have you on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, Block Talk, we're out.